great moments where Scott pointed out just the economic disparity in the who benefits from this policy and who suffers from this policy. And he used the phraseology a couple of times about how working class people, middle class people carry this economy that is built for people like him on their backs. And you talked about the K-shaped recovery after 2009. And I think he even said a few times, he goes, the checks he's been cashing all this time, that money doesn't go down to the working class who have a higher cost of living. He talked about the Misesian business cycle theory and about how, paying for the empire, trying to make it all seem free by just printing and borrowing all of it, it piles up the debt and it leads to all this misallocation and malinvestment. I thought he did a good job of, quickly summarizing Mises's theories. And, I've always really appreciated how Scott connects that directly to foreign policy and directly to the empire. So even if you're not someone who is motivated by civilian deaths and just the macabre foreign policy of empire and all the people we've killed, then you could at least understand that it's not in your self-interest to be doing this at all, and certainly not in the so-called national interest. So I thought those points were terrific. And again, Kristol had nothing to say. He said things that are just, his argument was essentially, because I think Scott was responding to him saying things like, we can afford it. And he would be like, it's like, well, he goes, roughly, let's say it's like 5% of GDP. And that doesn't really mean anything when you're spending, trillions of dollars. We're spending more in the military than we ever have. You look at what's happened to our economy, how everything has been hollowed out. And also Scott connected that directly to the divisions and the breakup and the social fabric. And he pinned that on the neoconservative foreign policy, this war everywhere sort of mentality. And I also really appreciated how, he used Kristol's neoliberal, well, whatever you want to call it, this sort of faux liberal pivot he's made in the Trump era of being, aghast at right-wing nationalism and things like that. And he said, you basically, promoted the worst elements of this. And he directly brought up Frank Gaffney and people like that who are, I believe Gaffney is a PNAC signatory on a few of those documents. And, it was incredible.